G'day guys! So today's video is going to be part one of a series of videos. Now I'm not too sure I haven't quite worked on a title for this series yet, but it's going to be a sort of restoration series. So if you've been following the channel for a little while, you'll know that I did a build series some little while ago of a large-scale super decathlon. Now the Decathlon is a bit of a favorite plane of mine, and I enjoyed doing that model, that large-scale decathlon, and it got me thinking. I actually have a small-scale decathlon. Now, this decathlon was the very first scale plane, and scale, I use that term loosely because it's not what you would call a sports scale. It's a 40 size decathlon. And it's the first scale kind of plane that I had, which was a step up from my trainer. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll just flip the camera around because it's on the work table right to my right here. So let's just have a quick look and I'll continue flapping my gums from there. So here it is, guys. This is a super flying model super decathlon. Now it is in a bit of rough shape, I will admit that. This is a fairly old model. I used to enjoy flying this until one day I had a mishap, and admittedly it was a skill issue at the time, and I was only very new into the flying hobby, and the damage wasn't severe or catastrophic, but it was enough to cause enough damage that I kind of didn't think of repairing it. And so over the years, it sat on top of my cupboard at my old house, collected dust, and things would get pulled out of it for other projects. And as you can see, there's no front wheels, there's no engine mount, there's no tank, there's no push rods in it, and things like so forth. So the other day, I was just having a look over my videos that I did on my large-scale super decathlon, and it got me kind of inspired to, as they say, pull my finger out and have a go at getting this up and flying again. And another thing that got me inspired too is there's a new member at our club, and he's only just turned 16, and he was given a couple of planes from a deceased estate, and one of them was a super decathlon like this, a different brand. But I did a very quick test flight because the radio started glitching, and fortunately I managed to get it back. But the way it flew just reminded me of how this model flew. So what we're going to do, guys, is I've cleaned up the dust, and as you can see here, there's a bit of damage here that I've got to fix. I have clevises and control horns. And I do have the control rods for the elevators and the rudder. So what we're going to do, guys, is that we'll probably spend maybe 3, maybe 4 videos going over this model. Now, one of the first things I'm going to have to do is the fuel tank that came with this. It was, I guess you could call it a bespoke kind of fuel tank that would only fit in this plane. So what I might have to do is, as you can see, have I got a pointer anywhere? You know, I'll use this screwdriver. I don't know if you can see, but there's like little dotted lines here for the former. What I might do is cut this out and put a Dubro tank in it. That way it just makes it easy to put a different tank in it, and I don't have to try and search the internet for the tank that's meant for this, if that makes sense. So we'll do that, and I know I have an engine mount for it, the original engine mount in my box of bits, so we'll be able to do that. The next thing we'll need to do is when I crashed it, the cowl, it was like Lexan, but it was more like that cheap PVC style plastic. In fact, it uses it just here so if you're running a 2-stroke engine with the pipe sits in there and comes out, but I had a 4-stroke in it, and that's what we're going to put in it as well. I've got an OS 72 4-stroke. It's going to go straight into this. So yeah, the cowl, I'm going to have to see if I can find an STL file online and see if I can 3D print a cowl for it. So we'll have to do that. I'm pretty sure I still have the instructions for it somewhere, so that might also help too when it comes to doing the CG balancing of it as well. So what we might do, first of all, I want to find some wheels for this. So what I'll do is I'll pause here and see if I can find some wheels. Alright guys, so I have put some wheels on to the main landing gear here. So rolls freely, kind of. I just got to tighten up the bolts a little bit. I just put them on for the moment. So that's that bit done. What I've also done off camera is I have the original engine mount here that I have put on. So it's with this model, the engine had to be mounted sideways because if you were to use a 2-stroke engine, that way, because with a 2-stroke they have the large pipe and the pipe fits down into there. So I'll still have it the same way. So what I did is, so this engine mount was on this originally, and I used it for another model which I don't fly anymore now, so it's back on here. So what I'm going to do now is I want to try and get a fuel tank for it fitted. So this fuel tank is also out of a model that I don't fly anymore, and yeah, so I've basically taken the electronics out of it. So we've got the couple of servos, power switch, battery, receiver pack, receiver, a couple of things like that, just to initially get the ball rolling, so to speak. So what I've got to do now is I want to try and get the fuel tank fitted into it. So what I'll do is, off camera, what I'm going to do is with this section here that used to have the original tank in it, I'm going to take that out, and like so cut this section out, and because hopefully by the looks of things the Dubro tank is more than wide enough to fit in between the front former there. So I will cut that out and we'll continue on from there. Alright guys, so what I've done so far, so look, I'm always missing things to use as a pointer. Okay, so what I've done is, as you can see on here, I've cut away down to about here and across. It's a little bit rough, but so I've cut all that down there away. Now the front, I guess you call it window. When I built this originally, I just used 3 screws. So that just slides over there, and screw hole there, and screw hole on either side. So yeah, so that just came off. But yeah, so that was pretty easy. Just cut that down. And the tank, now I'm just putting the tank in backwards because it's just makes it easier to do it with one hand. But the tank fits in perfectly like that there. So that is that will be in line with the hole here, which works out good. So obviously, if you imagine the tank 180 degrees facing through, lines coming out, which is good. So the next thing I want to do, so obviously it won't stay perfect like that because, as you can see, it drops down. So I'm kind of thinking that I don't know if I want to 3D print something or make something out of wood, maybe. I don't know. But try and have something for the tank to rest on, just so it sits like that. Like I do have foam, but over a period of time, foam will perish. So there's that issue. But I think I might use some wood block, like a wooden block up the front here, just to hold the front end up, so it'll sit on there, have a wooden block just behind the motor plate here, and so the tank will just sit on top of that. So I'll pause here, and well, I'll be back with whatever I've come up with. Alrighty, so this is what I've come up with. Now it is very, I guess you could say it's crude, but I made it out of some bit of plywood and some a little bit of balsa that I had on me. So as you can, and also you can see too that it's offset. The reason being is, like down there, that's this section here, that the cutout, so it's offset. So basically the tank will sit on that there, and where did I put it? There it is. So again, tank's just going in backwards, just so you can get an idea. But goes in, slips in nicely there, and sits perfectly. So I would say that is the tank done. The engine mount, I guess you could say that's done. That's the wheels for the landing gear. I'll go over that. So that is, I guess, to say the start of the restoration or rebuild, however we're going to put it. I'm not sure yet. I'll still figure out a title for this. So I'm going to leave the video here. Next video, what I will do is we're going to head to the rear of the model, and we'll start looking at the hinges, and especially this right elevator here. As you can see, it's damaged. I'm not too sure about this side. This one, I think this side's okay, but it's just this one here that needs to be sorted. So what we'll do in the next video, guys, is we'll start with the rear control surfaces, fixing the hinges. We'll start looking at the control rods as well. So that'll be in the next video, guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment. And till the next video, guys, enjoy your hobby and cheers.